here at the Air Force Museum here in the U.S., the U.S. Air Force Museum, and we're gonna go in and check out some of the stuff today and show you around. And yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Hopefully we'll get a shot of the outside too. And this is the early years exhibits. Wow, this place is huge. Talking all about the early cloth-based ones. I doubt these are real. These are probably all replicas, but still look pretty nice.
Daddy, how many horsepower do you think this engine is? How many horsepower do you think that engine is? 37. 140.
Wow. Kind of hard to see too, but that's actually a Zeppelin up there.
The balloons were highly vulnerable to attack by enemy fighter planes.
This is all World War I kind of stuff here. Oh, wow. This is an early wind tunnel. .92 by 32-foot balloon. No thanks, I'll ride something else. You can really see the shape of the wing is really defined here. It's the first autonomous drone, it looks like. Looks more like a bomb to me. Wow. This stuff was made in Dayton too. That's cool. A Fokker. This one is huge. It looks heavy as hell. Caproni C-36. She started mounting guns on these things too. And obligatory museum creepy ass mannequins. Yeah, it's huge wingspan. Whoa. Look at that propeller. Thing's a monster. You can read that. 20-foot. Or 20-foot wingspan, 17-foot propeller. Wow. Oh, they had to lop off the wings. Oh no. They folded them. That's kind of cool to see the cross section. These are feats of engineering, to say the least. Folding wings. Martin MB2. It's a nice little engine there. It took 500 people to build it or something. And the obligatory G3 ambulance for when it crashes. G3 target glider. Oh, sweet. Love the landing gear too. Look at that. That's awesome. I think we're moving into the, yeah, these are starting to look more like World War II planes. Looks like that's right. They're being built in early 30s. Starting to migrate. K2, K3, auto gyro. That's intense. Weighs less than a car when empty. It's kind of intense. Again, nothing I'd want to ride in. Love to see it move though. Starting to move into the closed cockpits. New engines. R1820. This must have been a hell of a job right there. Martin B10. Small version, big version, small version, big version. Whoa, these just keep on coming. Mounted up on the ceilings, all over the place. Some of the shells, bombs that go in there. It's crazy. Yeah, signature dice in the back there. Oh, this is actually for the thing up above. SG-38 glider. Yikes. Just training for Germans. XB19s. Oh, this is a real tire. That's amazing. Ow. Crazy lighting in here too. It's all darkened, just highlighting certain things. The 047B. God, look at all that metal. So many rivets. Oh, so much autofocus. Sorry, apparently the camera didn't like the wing. Over here we have a downed BT-14. This is all still pre-World War II. And we do have that one mounted up there too. These are awesome. A Tiger Moth. It's the back of that one. Now coming into the World War II years. These are amazing. Sad to think that all this progress in aviation came from war, but on the benefits of it, there's a lot of progress. Thinking about riding in one of these today. Plus, I know that these flew so low, you just couldn't get them up high enough to make it comfortable for people to actually ride it, even as they turn these into commercial vehicles. I know that the early flight attendants were actually nurses, there to help you with altitudes, with sickness and such. Wow. That's amazing. Not a whole lot of electronics controls coming at you there. It's the B-18A.
Yeah, me too.
Let's look up underneath here. Wow. That's crazy. And a little drag wheel. Which was retractable, I think. Yeah. Looks like it was retractable. Wow. Oh, the Enigma machine. This is, a lot of people know about this. This is one of the biggest coders out there for coding messages, which is eventually broken. This is the machine that did this. There's actually a guy at Hamvention that also had one of these. There's an American version there. Oh, that's interesting, the difference between codes and ciphers. Cipher is actually a mishmash lookup table. A code is a predetermined. This is moving into the Japanese indented here. a Mitsubishi A6M20 Curtiss P-40E Warhawk. Boy, that would have been scary coming towards you. Some garb. B-25. Another nose cone gunner. Right here we have snow scene. P93, 39 rather, Q. Air Cobra. That's interesting. During World War II, the Japanese actually launched a bunch of bombs from balloons and just hoped they'd get to the US. The only one that did actually do any harm was when people found it picnicking and it went off. It was already landed though. Huh, I never knew about that. That's a hell of a strategy, Joe, just to launch them from Japan and hope the wind takes them. So these are when they actually fired bullets at the front nose cone of the propeller. And this is the actual apparatus that loaded it up and pushed them out. That's crazy. Look at that. How long that drive shaft is. That's crazy. Not camshaft, drive shaft. Wow. Or one of these mounted up in the ceiling there. Glider. Autopilot on the B-24. Huh. It's crazy that they had this so early. These days we don't think about devices that have gyros on them, but back then it was probably a huge deal. AT-11 bomber. And the AT-9, slightly smaller. Look at those engines. God, that's awesome. Nightmare. Bristol bow fighter. Spitfire. Mark V Spitfire. It's still pretty early in the war. German reconnaissance aircraft. There's the Strawberry Bitch. Amazingly huge. Sending the Russians some planes. Show all the different campaigns and everything. Here's this little guy hanging out in back. I didn't even see him. Must have been the camouflage. The MC-200 Sayetta. This is an Italian plane. This is the back of the Strawberry Bitch as well. Scale is kind of hard to explain. It's huge. Tail gunner spot too. Section on Tuskegee Airmen. General Daniel Chappie James. This is the bottom of the Strawberry Bitch. Not the best name. Man, that is crazy. This is the A-36A Apache, a smaller fighter. Fits nicely under the wing. Hard to see in there, but switches. So this is the B-24D. Big, but not the biggest. We'll get bigger. DH-98 Mosquito. P-38L. I have to say, some of this stuff makes me really uncomfortable. There's a lot of death associated with this stuff, but the engineering is unbelievable, honestly. There's just no doubt about it. Fun fact, this is actually not from World War II. This is a bunch of hipsters taking a smoke break outside. Scooter, get you out to the airplane. CG-4A. Looks like a bus. Flying bus. It's a Douglas 47D. C-47D. That's the Grasshopper up there. What I didn't realize is that cargo plane, this huge wingspan, it's actually a glider. That's why it looks like a bus. No engine. It's the B-17G. That's insane. Also known as the Flying Fortress, apparently. Shoo baby. But these things have very good gas mileage. That's interesting. This is what the turret looks like. Stick your head up in there. 2 ammo boxes. Pop your head out up here. These are late in the game V1, V2 rockets, which are huge. This is a V1, I believe. Buzz bombs also. While they were destructive forces, these look strikingly like rockets that ended up taking us to the moon. So, silver lining there. P-51D Mustang. I have to imagine if 10-year-old me would have come here, I might have ended up as an aerospace engineer. This is one of the first turbojets, turbine-based jets, basically. The engine's changed. Just keep getting bigger and more badass. This is an A-20G. And then if you look up, R-4B Sikorsky. Early helicopters. Curtiss C-46D. Carrying engineer corps. Huge wingspan. But yeah, you could fit Jeeps inside that thing. This is underneath. I don't even know what kind of plane this is, but you can see the engines are actually mounted up above here. It's just huge. Retractable landing gear. A couple of turrets. It's just crazy. The OA-10 Catalina. Unbelievable. This is the B-29 Super Fortress. This is the biggest airplane I've ever seen indoors before. It's huge. Look at this. Look how big this wingspan is. I didn't realize this is actually the one that dropped the second bomb.
In addition, armor-plated guns will be moved to
Nagasaki.
refuse modified aircraft. 500 banks composite under the command of David's Crane Intensive and Wendover Field.
That's the size.
When the Trinity test proved successful,
Boy, that thing changed a lot of stuff, huh? little boy. Sits as a fat man.
While Japanese bombers maneuvered toward their targets and their fighter planes engaged defending Allied planes, the kamikazes would make their move. Amid the confusion of the aerial battle, they would attempt to sneak through the defending fighters, select the first.
Oh, wow. I think we've reached the big part. Holy shit. God damn, this place is huge. A1E Sky Raider. Wow. Oh, there's a tiny plane over here. C-124. It's a bomber from the Korean War, and you can actually walk through it. It's actually a B-29, similar to the one we looked at earlier. Try walking through it. Some of the nose controls. Hard to see. It's all plasticed up. Pilots. Sorry about the shaky camera. Trying not to fall over here. Flight engineers panel.
Right, and so they're the ones who are not going to get a sticker.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna get a sticker for not having time.
But so then what I look for is who didn't do comments. Watch your head.
Go down below.
Wow.
Holy
Good
moly.
point. This is short. Like, look at that tiny little chair that you were supposed to sit in probably for hours.
Oxygen.
Oh, look at this, and you had to fly backwards and sit on something even crummier.
B-45C Tornado. F-94A Starfire. Wow. That's intense. B-26C. Awesome paint job. This is the back of that. So again, for scale, here's that F-94. Here's that slightly bigger plane. Here's the back of the 119 or whatever it was. This thing's just like a bus. No, bigger than a bus. It's huge. It's an air whale. There's an interesting design too. Dual propeller, dual pilot. Guns in the middle. F-82G Twin Mustang. That's an awesome bit of engineering. Front air intake. This is the F-86A Sabre. Starting to see more modern wing design there. Retractable flaps and front things. Shooting Star F-80C. Some more drones. Here we are in modern day F-22 Raptor, which I've never been this close to before. These are awesome. Just a tiny bit pricey. Oh yeah. That, you see that heads-up display there? Pilot looks through that. Keep an eye on the people for scale. Here's the scale. One person, one plane, if you can call it that. Huge. Of course, this is necessary because you couldn't stop for gas midair. Yeah, this is a, from underneath, it's probably about 30 feet above my head here. I mean, the whole thing's mounted up, but it's a B-52 bomber. Unbelievably huge. Wonder how much the wings flexed. It's underneath. Oh, hydraulic heaven. Here's some early jets. F-105G. Vietnam era. A-7D Corsair 2. Wow. Look at that intake. That's crazy. F-111A, Aardvark. RB-66B. Some of these wingspans, it's just amazing that this stuff could fly at all. I'm thinking how much weight they're carrying too. It's the F-4C Phantom II. This is the F-105D Thunder Chief. C-7A. Cargo plane. Smaller than I would have thought. C-123K, another cargo plane. It's radio antennas off the front there. dinged up in the front.
This scene shows a ranch hand on initial approach spraying water colored with purple vegetable dye. The aircraft reach out to the gas.
This is a refueling tanker, actually.
Preparation for landing. Unit conducting Operation Ranch Hand.
That's what I always think of with Vietnam. Sikorsky, HH-3E, just helicopters in general. That's how Vietnam really went down. There's a plane up there. A rescue helicopter. This place is monstrous. There's also the UH-1P Iroquois. Bell. B-26K. Wow. Guess I didn't really think about Vietnam era still using propeller planes other than, you know, cargo stuff, but still viable technology, of course. It's a little slower. It's a cool looking plane. It's the OV-10A at Rockwell. A couple of ordinances. I've seen this one before though for the tail. It's got the joined tail on the back. That's cool. This is the B-57B Canberra. Huge bomber. Well, as I went through to the back part of the museum, I didn't realize this would be the coolest stuff. It's all chronological. Of course, I'm running out of time. But yeah, there's a stealth fighter. It's at the B-117. Thing is amazing. B2, my bad. Huge wingspan though. Huge. All stealth technology. My God, just look at all this stuff. Is it a Blackbird? So cool. Oh yeah. It's our 71A Blackbird. Unbelievable. I have a hard time understanding how they fit all this stuff in here. Start showing satellites. F-15. GM 280B Hound Dog.
I don't know. We can always come back.
That would. The piece I have means nothing because it's, you know, unless it was a specific piece of art.
RF4C Phantom 2. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can actually climb into cockpits too. That's neat.
Yeah.
AC-130A. Tucked in the back here. So I think what I thought was up front. Yeah, F-117A, another stealthy vehicle. Wow. F-111F, another aardvark. I think I saw those earlier generations. It's from Desert Storm. Wow. EF-111A. And here is the reason to come back. They're putting in a space shuttle. Looks like a walk-up. Might actually be able to go in there. That is reason to come back. Wow. That is intense. Drones. Of course, the MH-53M. Wow. Space shuttle. Ah, so cool. Oh, it's one of the trainers. Oh, so cool.
The CCT will be displayed temporarily in the museum's Cold War gallery. And then eventually, when our fourth building is completed, it will become a major component of our new space gallery. We also will have enough room for the other components of the space shuttle
patch panel,
which are going to be built over the next year or so.
Oh man,
and that will
definitely coming back next year.
Tail, ramps in shape of wings, and the STEM learning node.
It's a wonderful simulator. All of the astronauts have trained in CCT-1 that flew the space shuttle, I think with the exception of the last 3 shuttle missions. It's a high-fidelity simulator, and the configuration of it makes it a very interesting piece.
So they're going to have the whole simulator
like,
here.
The National Museum of the Air Force.
That is awesome. And you see that little guy up there? Look at that. Kind of hidden up in the corners. Kind of hard to see. A-10A. Wow. Wow. B1B Lancer. SM-62 Snark. How about that beastie? That is intense. CF-100 Mark IV-A Canuck. Oh, God. This whole place is like an engineering chasm. F-86D Sabre. A water plane up there. Oh yeah, a couple water planes. F-86 Haymaker Sabre. Look at that thing. General Electric J4727 jet engine. I think the scale of some of these cargo planes is what really gets me. This is the HU-16B Albatross. And this one, KC-97L Stratofreighter. I mean, it's just unbelievably big. It's not even the biggest one here. This is cool. Sabre. Nice teardown. Each hard out, Dave. Fuel tank, engine, fuel tank on the wing, drop tank. That Stratofreighter behind. Jeez. And a jet engine too. Man. I just have to back this thing into the building. And the space section. Rocket engines. Lunar capsules. Apollo 15 command module. And, you know, got the usual placards, but then you gotta look up. Ho ho ho. It's like we're inside a missile silo. is awesome. Some of these are missiles, but obviously missiles became rockets. Skylab. Food. It's a satellite. This is a reconnaissance satellite. God, this thing's awesome. Step back here. Here's the second floor. Seeing the scale of everything is just amazing. Look how small the SR-71 looks there. It's huge still. So see, these are some of the planes that are, as I'm exiting, these are some of the outside planes. These are the ones they couldn't fit inside, although they still did fit quite a few. You can see the people for reference there. There's a replica control tower. And some of the other planes. As we drive out of here. Holy crap, they're huge. So that was the Air Force Museum. There's other Air Force bases that have, and I'm leaving Dayton now. Unfortunately, I only had about 2.5 hours or so to be there. It opens at 9. It's open most days of the week, so it's only holidays it's closed. That was quite possibly the coolest museum I've ever been to in my entire life. I've been to a lot of museums. I've been to all the Smithsonian's. The Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. is great, but in terms of actual on-site stuff, this wins hands down. So hopefully you saw all the footage I took. Sorry about the terrible commentary. I mean, I didn't know what a lot of those planes were, but man, they were really cool. As I mentioned earlier, I was a little conflicted on a lot of that stuff. I mean, a lot of it is pretty violent. You could call it defense, you can call it whatever you want, but there were, those were warbirds, right? I mean, there's no mistakes about a lot of that stuff. So for better or worse, it is based on that. But in terms of the engineering, man, you can't beat that stuff. I mean, that was top-notch talent working Lockheed and Northrop and all the different companies that were doing aerospace stuff throughout the, basically from the inception of planes, it was in there, it was featured. So really, really cool. If you're in Dayton, or if you can make a trip to Dayton, man, I could have spent a whole day in there. So anyways, Hamvention was great. That's what I was in town for. So highly recommend attending for both of them, for the swap meet at Hamvention and then making a trip to the Air Force Museum. I didn't get a chance to go to the Mendelssohn's actual site, which is a kind of a surplus shop in town. It was huge. I was staying by it, but I didn't get a chance to go there. So if you can, I recommend it. All right, well, hope you enjoyed those videos. See ya.